Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to all our 12th Monarchs out there in Monarch Nation, coming off a historical 34-31 win over North Texas. I was told by our outstanding sports information director, Eric Bohannon, that this was the 7th greatest comeback in the history of FBS football, being 28 down. I don't know if we call it greatest or largest comeback, something like that. Wasn't our plan, but certainly glad that it worked out that way. Down 28-0. North Texas scored with 3:48 to go in the second quarter, and then from that point on, we outscored them 34-3 against a very good football team. North Texas was 7-2. Easily could have been undefeated. They'd beaten Arkansas on the road by 27 points. It was a very good football team, and the keys to the comeback for us were scoring the final 10 points right before the half. We scored a touchdown right after they scored. We answered in 3 plays, scored, cut it to 28-7, and then got a field goal with no time left. The situation with Duhart and Mohammed that led to the ejection of Mohammed really inspired our team. Jonathan Duhart's a very popular player on our team, and when that situation took place, particularly at halftime, rallied everybody together. And then the third thing was how our defense played in the final 34 minutes. Special teams-wise, we had tremendous effort in this game. We won the drive start by 5 yards, which is big when you're playing a very good football team. A couple things that went against us. We had a blocked punt. We had a couple penalties. We roughed their punter, and that sequence of our defense getting the stop. Our defense stopped a fake field goal in the third quarter, and then also after the block punt held them to a field goal that kept the game at a 31-17 game. That was a big sequence for us there. Nick Rice continues to kick well. He was 2 for 2 on field goals. He's made 9 consecutive field goals. He hit a 48-yarder before the half, and then a 37-yarder to cut the lead to 31-27 in the fourth quarter. Defensively, like I said, it was really a tale of two halves. They had 43 plays for 264 yards and 28 points in the first half, and then they had 39 plays for 131 yards and 3 points in the second half. And the difference was third down and fourth down, something that we have not done a good job of on defense all year. North Texas was 2 for 10 on third and fourth down in the second half. Our defense did an outstanding job of getting off the field in critical situations. Lawrence Garner, his first game back after missing 3, had 11 tackles, had an interception, played an outstanding game. O'Shane Zimenez, I think, played his best football game since he's been at Old Dominion, with the tackles, the sacks, just the way he played. He was double-teamed throughout the game and still made a lot of plays. That allowed some other guys, with the attention they put on O'Shane, allowed some other guys to play really well. Tim Ward played an excellent game. Daniel Apu played his best game of the year. And Pat Toll played 57 snaps, had 4 assisted tackles. So we had more productivity overall from our defensive line than we had in any game this year. Offensively, was not looking good at halftime. We threw an interception on the third play of the game. We had a couple missed exchanges in the backfield that cost us field position. North Texas is one of the best teams in the league. They hadn't given up over 30 points all season, so we really put ourselves in a bad way in the first half. The second half was completely different. We scored on 6 of our last 8 drives in this football game, and Blake, who was struggling early, finished strong in this game, threw for over 300 yards, a couple touchdowns. Travis Fulgham continues to play at a high level, 8 catches, 155 yards and a touch. Duhart, give him a lot of credit after what was a difficult situation before the half, ended up with 6 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. And Isaiah Harper with 4 for 66 and a huge catch and run on 3rd and 16 in the fourth quarter, a 53-yard play. And then the third and fourth down, 7 for 13 in the second half. Anytime you're over 50% on third and fourth down, that's a winning formula. That's what we did in the second half. This week's opponent, VMI, comes in with a 1-9 record. They've lost 5 very close games. Scott Wachenheim, who is their head coach, is a good football coach. I've known him for a long time. I don't have any doubt he'll have them ready to play. I talk to our players about the importance of anytime you play a military school. It's different in terms of how you play, the respect level you have for the guy who's across the ball from you, and we'll certainly be of that mindset this weekend. This team throws the ball for 320 yards a game. They would be leading Conference USA in passing, and we have not defended the pass well, so that's going to be a major emphasis for us on discipline this week. They're very good on special teams. They're well coached, and they play hard on defense. So having a military school come in here for the final game at Foreman Field, being in a military area, this is also the Oyster Bowl, the tradition involving VMI. We'll be prepared to play a well-coached football team and play a good game Saturday. And this is also a big day for us with 20 seniors that are playing their final game. So we'll be excited to play, and I will gladly take questions.
Bobby, was there a turning point in particular for Travis that you could pinpoint, or the first two games wasn't very productive, but since then he's been kind of like at an all-conference level? What do you think's been behind that uptick?
Yeah, the number one reason is we did not do a good job getting the football to him in the first three games, and that changed with the Virginia Tech game. Receivers are a lot like shooting guards in basketball. You know, they need touches, they need to get some shots, need to feel good about it, and we just were not getting him enough touches early in the season, and ever since the Virginia Tech game, you can see it's happened. He's more relaxed. He knows that the ball is going to come his way. Sometimes it takes us in the first quarter, Ed, to figure out how teams are defending, both he and Duhart. What type of coverage are we getting today? Everybody seems to try something a little bit different. And once we do, then we can come up with a formula, whether we need to move them to a different spot, put them inside, put them outside, put them single side, put them together. So once we've worked through that, starting with that game, the Tech game, and then started to figure out the coverages, you start to see him get going. Usually his second, third, fourth quarter are a little bit better than the first. And a lot of it's got to do, like I said, with how people are playing those guys.
Coach, in the third quarter, you guys stopped him, it was a big stop, and all of a sudden, unsportsmanlike conduct. I was watching what was happening. I was really surprised that call was made. Were you?
I didn't see the sequence, but the official explained it to me that we had already had a couple altercations, and they weren't going to let anything go that could cause that. The situation that happened was O'Shane Zimenez and Jawan Ross, after we got our second stop of the second half. We'd gone 3 and out the first one, they punted, we'd scored, 3 and out again, here we go, and they did a little celebration together, which caused the penalty. And, regardless of how small it was, it happened, and they will be reminded that that's not something that we do. That one almost cost us. They ended up, as I explained to the players, that would have been a 3 and out. They ended up going 9 more plays. That was a sequence where they tried the fake field goal, and we stopped them. But that cost us valuable time, and we took the win in the third quarter, so we wanted the ball back. We wanted them to punt, get the ball at midfield again. That one really hurt us. So that's the reason he gave me why he called it.
Did he give that? Oh, after he called it, not
Yeah.
before.
No, after he called it, he made it clear. And they had warned both myself and Seth Luttrell, North Texas head coach, after the incident at the end of the first half. They came over to both benches and said, we're not going to let anything go. There's no more warnings, which they generally do. Officiating crews, once something happens in a game that could potentially cause the game to get out of control, they come give you a warning, both sides, and say everything's going to be called from here on out. They'll no longer talk to the players, and they'll no longer tell them to go to the sideline. They'll flag them. So, yeah, that was a big one.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thank you all for coming, and looking forward to seeing everybody Saturday at the final game at Foreman Field.